had no one in the world that had faith in me. And I didn't realize that every single struggle that I have overcome in my life, every single obstacle, every single mission that I gave myself to complete, even if I didn't complete it, if I tried, and even in that very moment, the fact that I was still alive and breathing and living was because I had faith in myself all along.
God is good.
For the first time in my life, I truly believed in myself, but I also realized that I always had that faith. That faith was always inside of me because I was always constantly moving mountains.
So, what the? Welcome back to my channel. The Florida.
Welcome back.
Oh yeah, you're here. I'm just like, y'all. She just took some pictures of me, and I'm feeling myself. But Nainer,
Yes,
introduce yourself.
I am just myself. I ain't never tried to be nobody. That's a lie. I was about to tell a lie.
Fibber.
I tried on a lot of different skins before I found the one that fit just right.
Well, my name's Melissa McCarthy, and no, I'm more Kim Possible today.
You're Kim Possible? Dun 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 dun.
People are really cool where we live.
I feel like people are.
They're really
We
chill.
could just be like, hey, would you like to be interviewed?
They'd be like, yes.
They would be like, yes.
And it'd be good marketing.
I've been interviewed on the beach by random people. By
How
YouTubers.
How recent?
It was earlier, and it was in the summertime. Earlier in the summer.
Why didn't you tell him about the channel?
It was before I met you. How long have I known you, William?
I've known you about a year.
No.
I haven't even. It hasn't been a year. I met you in June, beginning of June. It feels longer.
It feels like I've known you a long time.
Long time.
Long time.
My Aunt Sheila said it too.
She said she adopted me, so she my Aunt Sheila too now.
Wow, we're cousins.
We're cousins. That means we can't make out anymore.
Don't tell them our secret.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At least we're not blood.
I know, right? Just by extended adoption.
Well, we are in Alabama right now, so the laws are different, but...
Oh, it'd be fine.
I'm just kidding.
I wish I had some sunglasses.
Here, use these ones. I've got about 5.
You got any black sunglasses?
Oh, sorry. You don't like white ones?
No.
Now we're chilling like villains out here.
Yeah. I'm the baddest in this industry. Yeah.
What you doing over there?
Well, I was out there picking corn off the cob with my 2 front teeth, and all of a sudden this black BMW rolled up, and I met this friend over here. Her name Handisha.
Handisha?
Yeah. Yeah, you never met me. Yeah.
Where's your phone?
I never met anyone like you, Handisha. Like to do after dinner. I'm gonna eat you up. I'm gonna have some snake chow chow on you, B. Yeah. Handisha go. Handisha go off. Yeah. Cheese. Also, you wanna call me? Yeah.
What the?
You wanna call me? Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I'm gonna open my legs for you. I'm saying you never, y'all.
Like that.
You ain't never gonna be a little boy, y'all. Because I got the tips. That pay the tips. Y'all. This year has been a wild ride for me.
I bet it has.
I think about where I was like at the beginning of last year. I was so depressed.
Or the beginning of this year?
The beginning of this year.
Yeah.
I was so depressed.
I was too, but actually no, I wasn't. I was moving on from something that hurt me so bad, right? And I thought that the calm was happening. But and I wrote this earlier today in some notes. But I was saying how, people are constantly searching for the peace and the calm,
We are, as a human beings, constantly in search of the most peaceful state.
And I understand that.
Not all of us, though.
But you have to hear me out here.
Okay.
No matter what direction we go, though, after the peace, there's going to be another storm.
There is.
Inevitably in life. And so at the end of the day, I feel like I persevered. A lot of people don't have that. You know, and I know what that I do, and I know that you do. And so I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful I met another kindred spirit.
There's not many of us.
There ain't many of us.
There ain't
many of us. No, there's not. A lot of times we think that when we're having hard times, when we're dealing with a lot, I'm just going to take these on and off as the clouds pass by.
No, literally do it.
A lot of times we think, and the society tells us that we have to have grit. We have to have grit. We have to be hard. We have to be a rock. We have to be a mountain. We have to be a brick house. What really needs to happen in order to find peace and in order to weather the storm is to find a softness.
To be able to withstand
to be able to be soft.
Because you have to understand.
In the midst of all of the turmoil and everything, we have to still find our soft spirit.
Because the truth is,
we have to be kind. We have to have love.
And remember that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's easy to forget those things and do things maybe out of spite. You know, we've all done it.
It's easy to let our heart harden.
Right.
And that's not healing.
And it's not. And it's not. And you've taught me a lot about healing.
Did I? What did I teach you this year about healing?
You taught me the very first words out of your mouth, I feel like. Well, it wasn't the part about, because I was picking her up in an Uber. She said we were in a drug dealing car or something. It wasn't that part. So, but one of the few things you said after that was, I'll never forget it. You were saying that healing isn't linear.
It's not linear.
I've never heard somebody use those words.
Really?
Never.
I don't think enough people use those words.
I don't think enough people do either.
I don't think enough people know that.
No, they probably don't.
They think it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G to Z. It's step 1, 2, and 3 that you have to
right?
Yeah, that you have to achieve these milestones and you have to conquer battle after battle after battle.
But sometimes in life, that is true as long as you're doing what you love to do. And you're not harming others, and you're not harming yourself. And that goes for everything in life.
Yeah, but also, you can look back without taking a step back.
Right.
And when I say healing is not linear, that means it's not in a straight line.
It means you can go up,
if you're
down.
in a graph, it don't go like this.
Nobody's ever going to have the same journey.
It goes like this.
Right.
You're always going to find another valley.
Right. I think that's what's interesting about our conversations is there's more depth to it than what... It
gets deep.
It does. And what I like about it is there's a sense of that comedy. But I'm glad that well, obviously you
got to be lighthearted about things.
Of course. Okay.
You know that song? I sang this song a lot when I was healing. And it's about love, but I was singing it to myself. Not trying to find it outside of myself, but trying to find love and acceptance within myself. And how far would I go for myself? And the words go a little something like this. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no river wide enough, ain't no valley deep enough to keep me away from your love.
I felt that.
And it's like singing it to myself.
I love you.
I love you too.
I don't ever want this to feel like it's some joke or something.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
You say you.
Like I really am. I'm in love with you.
I love you too.
I know you're taken, but...
I'm not taken. I'm single Pringle.
Oh.
We can go steady if you want to, William.
Me, you, and James could have a throuple.
A throuple? Not a throuple.
When did that happen?
Wave, William. Why is it centered on me? So much pressure. Too much pressure. There you go.
Ain't that
Ain't that a pan of Jiffy cornbread?
ain't it?
It is.
Well,
I learned a lot about faith this year.
you did? How
I learned a lot
so?
about faith. Well, did I ever tell you about my Nana giving me the mustard seeds?
Yeah.
She told me that all you have to have is a tiny, 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 tiny amount of faith. And if you have that tiny, tiny, tiny amount of faith, the size of a grain of mustard seed, you can move mountains and nothing is impossible to you. And my whole life, I didn't believe her.
Why?
I didn't believe her because I didn't believe that such
I
a
remember
tiny
you
amount of
telling me
faith.
that, but I mean, it's like,
Such a
why?
tiny,
Why not believe that?
because I didn't know what faith was.
You know, I didn't know what it was either, but
And
I
it's
think,
more so, I found that I have to have faith in myself.
oh yeah, for
I mean, of
sure.
course, have faith in God and your higher power
Well,
and
I
everything
mean,
like
you have
that.
to
But
understand though, it's like when I talk about God, at least I'm not speaking for
no, you're
everybody,
talking
but
about love.
when I talk, yeah, I'm talking about love, and love is everything, right?
And love is us.
Love should be everything, but not everything is love.
I can tell you, I gained a lot this year. More than just some little bit of extra pounds.
There was something
I gained,
there. I felt it for myself as well as you,
I
because I
found
felt
out
like
that, yeah,
there
I
was
learned a
something
lot.
other than I was so stuck. It's interesting you say that about your grandma because it's interesting you bring that up because for me, nobody ever sat there and talked to me about faith at all.
Really?
No one ever did. But I will say this much: seeing parts of the world that didn't feel like it doesn't feel real
Mm-hmm.
at such a young age. You know, I was like 5 years old and I was in South Korea,
Different country.
a whole different country. So it was so strange, and I remember so much of it, and it was so cool. It was so cool, but it was a big eye opener.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
wow, the world is just so
we're
big.
not, yeah, we're not just, I mean, but in my mind, I just flew to another planet. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and that's just how it is to this day. So sometimes the faith that I guess I have, it stems from that. It stems from that. Being able to be taken out of all of this,
that only thing you ever knew before that,
and then,
shown all this new.
like my whole life was like, box of chocolates, but Forrest Gump's so deep with his stuff. But anyways, she hasn't seen Forrest Gump. But anyways, you need to watch that whole movie. But I know what
you're saying.
It's like it really is about a box of chocolates, and
You
it's
never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get. So yeah, but that's interesting about the faith thing. That's where mine stems from.
So my Nana, she had so much faith in me. She believed in me. She believed in all my capabilities. She believed in my future.
Sounds like a good person.
She was the best person I ever met. She might have not always been, but she had gotten to that point in her life before she died.
And we all make mistakes.
We do, but she had so much faith in me. And this year, when I was at the lowest point I have ever been in my life, when I was ready to end my life, and I was just about to, my tummy grew hot. Because every time that she gave me a mustard seed when I was little, I ate it. It's like, well, I need faith. My whole life, I never had faith in myself. I never had faith in my abilities. I thought that even though all the people that raised me died, I thought that their faith died with them. And then I had no one in the world that believed in me. I had no one in the world that had faith in me. And I didn't realize that every single struggle that I have overcome in my life, every single obstacle, every single mission that I gave myself to complete, even if I didn't complete it, if I tried, and even in that very moment, the fact that I was still alive and breathing and living was because I had faith in myself all along.
God is good.
For the first time in my life, I truly believed in myself, but I also realized that I always had that faith. That faith was always inside of me because I was always constantly moving mountains, making the impossible possible, making my dreams come true.
You don't even
when no one else
realize
would
it.
make it for me.
You don't even realize it sometimes when it's happening.
I didn't, but my tummy grew hot, and it was almost like I felt all of those mustard seeds inside
Well,
my
I've heard you
belly in
talk
that
about
moment.
this,
And
and you know, I
I had a
never knew
knife in
what
my
to
hand,
think.
William. I had a knife in my hand, and I was looking at my hand, and I would see my hand holding a knife, and then I would see my mother's hand holding a knife, and I was seeing my hand, and it would flip back and forth in my mind's eye, just like I was about to do what my mother did to herself. But I broke the cycle. I saw a pattern,
I'm
and I
proud
broke
of
the
you.
cycle, and I
I'm
felt the
proud of
faith,
you.
and I heard my Nana's voice, and I heard my mother's voice.
You're a lot stronger
I
than
threw that knife, and I said, never will I get to this point again.
you are so much stronger. You can move mountains.
I can, because I have the faith. I have the faith more
And
than
the
a size
great
mustard seed.
of a mustard seed.
And that, you know why that's so resounding is because, and why my Nana told me all it takes is that tiny amount of faith, because most people go their whole life without having that much faith
This
in
is
anything,
truth.
much less themselves. And that's why they say they stay stuck in their patterns. And there's this song by Leanne Womack
Uh-huh.
that it was my mother. I remember my mother driving me to a doctor's appointment after I transitioned, and we was driving to Galveston, which was my favorite place.
Oh, I know Galveston.
That was my favorite place in the whole wide world growing up, because we would take little family vacations there, and I was going to see this doctor that was supposed to change my life. And that song came on the radio, and she started crying, and she told me that it's her song to me. And have you ever heard it?
No, you have to show me.
It's like, I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens.
I might have
And when
downloaded
you
that
get the
song.
chance to sit it out or dance, I
Well,
hope you dance.